Hello, this is the Manchurian Journal, and I'm going to do a video about a topic that I've been pondering about for about, I say, like 2 to 3 weeks now. And this, I don't know how exactly to convey this, so I'll try to get this point across as best I can. So, the main idea for this video is the idea of individualism and the link between individualism and the choices between arms and armor, or different kinds of armor and weapons. You see right here, this is the flail. I got a sword here. Granted, those two are from two different cultures, but still, it'll work for what I'm trying to go for in this video. So let's say you take 100 warriors. They could be of moderate to high wealth, and you put them in a room all together, and there's a table. And there's all sorts of weapons and armor from most periods of medieval Europe. Say, let's take early medieval, i.e. migration period. We're gonna start there all the way till right before the Renaissance. So around the 1480s. So the point I'm trying to make is not all of those 100 people, those 100 warriors, they're not gonna choose the same thing. And the reason for it is because they all both value their own choices. And what do I mean by that? So let's say you restricted them to one particular period. Let's say the 1400s. Let's say early, like first quarter of the 1400s. So what are their choices? Early sallets, bassinets, kettle hats, and various sorts of styles of armor. They're not gonna choose the same overall style. They're not gonna choose the same style of helmet. They're not gonna choose the same style of armor. They're all gonna choose their different things of armor because they all have different tastes and values of protection and mobility. Because one guy would choose a kettle hat, while one guy chooses a bassinet with a hound skull visor. One guy may choose to wear a bassinet with no visor. Why? Because one values more of his mobility, or his ability to see more clearly and breathe more easily, than that guy who chose the hound skull bassinet because he values his protection more than seeing well or breathing better if he wasn't wearing the visor for combat. Now, if he's commanding troops, then it'll be good for him to raise that visor to convey his commands, and when he goes into battle, he'll put down his visor and engage in combat with the enemy. Now, this also goes into the other thing of weapons. This flail is quite nice for what it's intended to do, which is to bash the guy he's fighting. And the flail, some people prefer the flail. I like the flail, but in all situations, I'm not going to choose the flail. Some people value the sword. This is a Chinese Dao, but I don't have a European sword, so that'll have to do. Some people value the sword, some people value the flail. Some people value the mace or the warhammer more. It all depends on the individual in question. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that the point I'm trying to make here is the choices you make in what armor you pick, or what weapons you make or choose to use, are all linked to your sense of self, to your individualism. Now, granted, there's other factors like practicality, what situation you're fighting in, whether you're on mainly horseback or on foot. But another key element to it, which I don't see talked much, is the role of yourself, your individual taste in what you want to wear. Because You don't want to wear the same kit as that guy down the battle line. No, you don't want to look the same. You want to look different enough that you'll stand out enough compared to the same guy down there who has the similar set of armor. You don't want to wear the same thing as him. You don't want to wear the same thing as anybody if you value your individualism and have the money to afford it. Some people prefer the long sword, right? Some guys prefer arming sword. Some guy prefers long sword. Some guy prefers a bastard sword. Some even prefer the biggest of swords, the great sword. It all depends on yourself, and it all. One theory I have for why there were different, many different pole arms and armor styles up to a certain point, helmet styles, weapon designs, was because the people who could afford these things, they valued their individualism to the point where they want to stand out enough so that they'll decorate their armors. That part has stayed true for a majority of armored and weapon stuff, is that those who couldn't afford it, if they wanted to, they could easily just decorate their armors. But yeah, that's pretty much the thing. My theory for why there were various different armor styles and weapon styles is because of the idea of individualism playing a role in people of status wanting to stand out. But that's not the only reason there was different armor styles. There's the more obvious obvious reasons being fashion, and fashion also plays a role in the individual self as well. I forgot to mention that fashion plays a very big role as well in the design of armor. You'll see a trend from the look at the 1400s and then look into the 1500s. The armor is transformed to form into the fashion of that time. You will see it very much in how the waist is pronounced, and as it goes on, that waist becomes more and more pronounced. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. This is the Manchurian Journal. I'll be posting the second video of the month sometime soon. I'll just figure out what it is. See ya.